I'm Madhvi Gokul, the Registration Service Manager at Afrinic. I will be myself and Bryce Abba. He is a training coordinator at Afrinic. We will be presenting on the newcomers meeting today. For those, the meeting is meant for those who are new to Afrinic, who are joining Afrinic for the first time, and also for those who want more information about Afrinic. The agenda for today, we'll talk about Afrinic in the internet ecosystem, Afrinic as the organization, the policies that govern how Afrinic operates, and then we'll have an open floor and take questions from the audience. Out there, we have about 2 billion of internet users. And these internet users will access the internet through the infrastructure that has been provided to them by operators, and they will access contents and applications that have been put out there by providers. Around all this, we have a lot of organizations who act as enablers to make the internet what it is today. A single, open, interoperable network. Such organizations would be government and regulators. They will be the standard bodies like the ITF, educators who go out there to train people, policy and decision makers, as well as domain name registries, and finally, number registries. Now, Afrinic is one of those number registries. We have a hierarchy in the IP resource management. We have the IANA, the Internet Assigned Number Authority, who manages the global pool of IP number resources. IANA will allocate pools of these internet number resources to the 5 RIRs that represent different service regions. And each RIR would further allocate or assign IP addresses to their members. Like you see on the slide, some RIRs have in common the LIR and N site categories, while others would have an additional category, the NIR. But at Afrinic, we have the LIR and the end users categories. LIRs would be ISPs or organizations who request IP addresses from Afrinic to further distribute it down to their member organizations or end users. And end sites would be organizations that request for IP resources to be used on their own internal network. On the slide here, you will see the geographical presence of each RIR and the regions that they cover. Afrinic, as you would note, serves the African continent as well as the islands of the Indian Ocean and a couple of islands on the west coast of Africa. Afrinic as organization was incorporated in 2005. It is a not-profit organization, and as of this year, we have around 1,200 members, and we operate with 37 full-time staff. Our offices are headquartered in Mauritius, while our data center is hosted in South Africa. The RIR structure is at Afrinic, as RIR, its structure is that it has to operate as a non-profit organization. We are 100% fully funded by our community, where we bill them, our members, for the services that we offer to them. We are a membership-based organization, and we count our members, organizations from the private sector, from the public sector, as well as the civil society. We are community regulated. It's an open and transparent process where our community develops policies, discusses on the policies, and when we reach consensus on these policies, Afrinic has to implement them. We also have an executive board that is elected by the community, by our members, in fact. The key activities of Afrinic are that as a regional internet registry, RIR, we manage IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. So from the pool that the IANA has allocated to us, we will further allocate to our members based on the policies that have been voted in our region and ensure that our members satisfy the stipulations of the policies. We also manage the ASN pools, the 2-byte, though we don't make a differentiation, but it's the pools of ASNs. We also manage the reverse DNS tree for the IP prefixes that are used by the African operators. As RIR, we suppose we have to provide a public WHOIS database where we register all the IP addresses, all the IP number resources, sorry, on the WHOIS database so that we ensure transparency and uniqueness of each resource. We also contribute to the IP address management and the global policy development. And our training department is also busy in training operators in IPv6, as well as our members in managing their internet number resources. Some other initiatives that we undertake are we host 2 biannual internet protocol meetings. The first one is usually an AIS event like this one, and the November meeting is a standalone Afrinic meeting. We also participate in internet infrastructure reinforcement development in Africa, IXPs, we support internet exchange points, and we also give support to academic networks. At Afrinic, regarding the IXPs and support to academic networks, what we do is we offer them, the academic networks get a 50% discount on the fees, and IXPs get 100% discount on the initial setup and annual membership fees. So basically they get resources for peering at the exchange point free of charge. I'll hand over to Brice now. He'll talk more about the resource policies. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Brice Haba. I'm in charge of the fellowship and also I'm trainer with Afrinic. I will continue this presentation in French because Djibouti is a French-speaking country and we also have the translation. So for those who don't understand French, can just put the headset so that they can continue to follow the presentation. Okay, donc je dirais tantôt.
So I just would like to say that Djibouti is a francophone country, donc I'm going to continue my presentation in French. My colleague briefly told about Afrinic and what Afrinic is doing for the community. Among the things that she spoke about, and she spoke about the resources that Afrinic is managing for the community. Afrinic is an organization that works for the community. It is the community that establishes the rules that Afrinic has to use to manage the resources. This is what I'm going to represent now. What is policy development process? We call it PDP. What do we call the process that allows the community to define the rules that Afrinic is going to use to manage the resources? It is developed. These rules are developed by the community, and the community asks Afrinic to apply these rules so that resources are managed in a fair way in the continent. So this is the process, the process that the community uses, that Afrinic has to use to manage the resources. Key principles: it is open. Everybody can participate. This process is not entirely dedicated to Africans. If you are from another continent but you have an interest in to see how Afrinic manages resources for Africa, you can be part of the process. It's really open to all the community of the world. We also have the principle of transparency. Transparency in the sense of when you propose a policy to African community, to Afrinic, you come and meet with the community at these face-to-face meetings that we have at Afrinic. You present your proposal to the community. The community sees, examines, and asks questions. You interact with the community. It's transparent, bottom up. These are rules by the community. It is you who establish these and write these rules, and you submit them to us so that Afrinic afterwards, whom we represent, can implement them for the community. So, so these are three important principles. You don't need to be on the African continent to participate. It has to be transparent because people have to be to come to the public meetings and present their proposals. It's not hidden. Their proposed laws. There is also bottom up. It's not Afrinic that imposes how it manages its resources. It is you who dictate what rules Afrinic has to apply to manage your resources. Now I'm going to tell you step by step and very quickly, because we are all tired. What are the different lines step by step to propose a policy so that Afrinic may be able to implement it. The first thing is to subscribe to distribution lists of Afrinic. Afrinic is a community, is an organization, a non-profit organization, as we said earlier. The channel that is being used to discuss with our communities, it's through distribution lists. Through these lists, we communicate with the community, and the community discusses with us too, communicates with us through this list too. So to be part of the PDP and the discussion of policies that manage the resources of the Afrinic region, it's through these distribution lists. It's adp@afrinic.net. So once you are on the distribution list, we ask you to write your proposals. Because Afrinic, if you think that Afrinic is managing the resources in a way that you do not like or does not meet the expectations of your country, you can make new proposals. Or the policies that are already used by Afrinic to manage resources. If you want to bring modifications, you can also make proposals to bring about these modifications. So you can write your policies or what you have modified, and you send it to the distribution lists, and also to whom we call the policy liaison, the staff of Afrinic who's in charge of helping you to making sure that these rules that you have written may follow the templates that Afrinic accepts with regards to the policies for managing resources. So then after, we will go to the next step. Once you are on the distribution list and you have written your proposal, or that you have modified the proposal and you send it to the policy liaison, who also helps you to put them in shape. At the same time, at the time you send it, once modifications are accepted, you can send them to distribution lists for discussion. And at the same time, AFRINIC takes this draft that you have made, or the modification that you have made, to publish it on the website of AFRINIC. Okay, so these are two events that happen simultaneously. You don't need to wait for AFRINIC to publish on its website your proposals before you start your debate. So you can send it directly to the distribution list to start discussions. So, you know that AFRINIC manages the resources for Africa region. It can happen that the proposals that you are giving may be in contradiction to, or maybe creating difficulties in the operation of AFRINIC. In this case, we can ask an analysis to AFRINIC. The chair and vice chair who manage the distribution list will ask to the staff of AFRINIC whether this rule may not be against your function, etc., etc. So when there is a need to analyze, AFRINIC will give this analysis to the distribution list, and then the distribution discussions can continue. So when you send your proposals on the RPD AFRINIC the distribution list, you have about 4 weeks to discuss. So during those 4 weeks, we try to find a consensus so that the maximum number of people who take part in this discussion can find the consensus on the proposal that you have made. And once the consensus is achieved, then we send your proposal to our public meetings, what we call the SFS meetings. Well, that's the one we are here today here in Djibouti. So you send your proposals to this face-to-face meeting, and you are face-to-face with the community, and you discuss and you propose, and you advocate for various ideas of people, so that again we can find a consensus. So that a maximum of people can find a common point, so that a maximum number of people will have a consensus in the assembly. Then we initiate what we call the last call. The last call is a last chance, opportunity of the chair and the vice chair who manage the distribution list and give to the community to validate the proposal that has been made. So so this means that proposal has been discussed for about 1 month. So on the face-to-face meeting, there has been consensus. So then the vice chair or chair gives the possibility to the community to have a last chance to look at the proposal, whether he has not omitted any important aspect that may have a bearing on you. And if there is consensus, we continue on the consensus. If there is no consensus, we will send the proposal to the mailing lists. After the last call, we will ask to the vice chair and the chair. They will send this proposal to the staff of AFRINIC. Remember that the resources, it's because of the resources that this is elaborated. So if we want to implement these resources, these rules, it has an impact on the functioning on the way that AFRINIC has had the habit of managing the resources of the African region. So the work of the chair and vice chair on the policy, or the modification of an existing policy. For 6 months, AFRINIC has the time to implement this policy. So what you have to understand is that the 6 months, there is a meaning behind these 6 months. You know that when we use resources, when we allocate resources to our members, we have the WHIS basis that we talked about. So for any internet policy, any policy has an impact on the WHIS basis. Sometimes we need to modify the WHOIS base. So AFRINIC works in all this environment to be able to publish that rule or modification, which will then be announced on our internet site, so that we can use it now to answer a certain resource need. There are three main steps. First is to adhere to a mailing list, create a new proposal or modify existing rules. Second thing is discuss in face-to-face, and then there will be a last call to continue discussion. And then once discussions are finished, the last step would be AFRINIC to implement this rule, which will allow the community to do things the way it wanted to. So the list of the principal rules that we use in AFRINIC to allocate resources to our members. So we have the IPv4 allocation policy. You have here the URL here. This is to be able to provide the IPv4 addresses to our members. Policy for end user assignment. This is the rule we use to give IPv4 addresses to institutions that do not use it as a business behind those IP addresses, like banks, universities, etc. And then for IPv6 address allocation for banks and schools, and for autonomous numbering systems. The AFRINIC is now using to give addresses to these members. You can find it on our website. We also have the policy, these two rules that are going to be discussed in this meeting. We have the AFRINIC WHOIS database update process, and then there is the academic IPv4 allocation. These two rules are going to be discussed during this public meeting. There have already been meetings that were held in Côte d'Ivoire regarding the second policy, academic IPv4 allocation for schools. Tomorrow there will be discussions, open discussions. We will have a summary of these policies tomorrow. What are the different points that are important for these policies, so you'll have a summary tomorrow. But already what I can tell you is that we have noticed that OV has said earlier, in the WHOIS database, which has resources for us, there were data that were not up to date. So AFRINIC has imposed to its members to make updates. We give advice to our members to please put their information in their WHOIS to make them up to date. So AFRINIC comes to reinforce this position, to ask its members to put the information in the WHOIS database to be accurate and up to date. And the community wants AFRINIC wants to give wants that the AFRINIC gives IPv4 addresses to higher education institutions. So we'll have more details regarding the two rules tomorrow for discussion. So do not be shy. You can take the mic. Those who do not understand English or French, there is translation, there is interpretation. You can ask your questions in French or in English, and there are people who will be here to present the rules, and the policies will be able to provide you answers. We will contribute to better the AFRINIC, as I said earlier. AFRINIC discusses with the community through distribution lists. Here are our distribution lists. The first is the announcements. That's the one I recommend to everyone. Behind this list, if AFRINIC gives all information. So under this list, the other lists are more specialized for specific functions. For example, on the RPD, the policy management resource, you have IPv6 on anything that is management of internet. Then you have the red link because it's not open to the community. As my colleague said earlier, AFRINIC has two types of members. It has the two types of members. One is the, members who have a status with AFRINIC and those who have signed a contract. EAC, and the others, the open members, these the community of Afrinic. So these members who have a nucleus, who have signed a contract with Afrinic, will have this distribution list that is specific to their issues. Afrinic has a responsibility with regards to these members. It is dedicated to these members. But all the lists are open to all communities, not only to the African community, but also to anyone, whoever is interested with how Afrinic manages the Africa's resources. All other distribution lists of Afrinic you can find on the website of Afrinic, and you can look at the distribution lists that are of interest to you, and participate to the development of the African community with regards to internet. Thank you, and I hope that it was not too fast. We now have the possibility of taking questions for those who want to know more about Afrinic. We are here, the staff is here, and I think we should be able to give a maximum of information for those who want to know more. Thank you.
Je vais prendre les questions.
I'll take questions.
Bonsoir.
Good evening. Mola Stefan from University of Chan in Cameroon. I wanted to know how to be a member of Afrinic, not as an organization, but as an individual. Thank you. In the new bylaws of Afrinic that was approved last year in 2013, we have a specific for associate members. Afrinic implements this category of members now. If you subscribe to the distribution list, you will have an announcement as soon as the portal for facilitating adhesion will be put in place, but it will be for very soon.
Okay.
So to answer to your question, the associate member, according to the bylaw of last year, is the very latest category of members that have been put in place, adopted by the board of Afrinic. So in this bylaw, which provides the creation of this new category, you have two types of associate members, which are organizations and also individuals. So for all of those of you who want to be associate member of Afrinic, you can already contact us with your ID, and we have a form that will be provided to you, which will give us a number of information. The cost is $300 per year to be member. And for other categories, which are corporate enterprises, you have a number of fees. You have a number of adhesion fees, which will be communicated to you very soon. So to sum it up, you have two categories of associate members, one for individuals and
for corporate. So everything is ready, but by the end of this meeting, the portal will be available so that you can register online, or you can contact us at the Afrinic member booth for more clarification and more information. Thank you very much. Sorry pour avoir shifté entre les deux.
Sorry for having shifted between the two. Thank you. Questions? Good morning. My name is Bernadette John. I come from Senegal, from the University of Thiès. I have seen that universities have the possibility of having IP addresses at the Afrinic level. I don't know if this has been adopted already, or is it going to be a discussion point tomorrow. At our university level, we have a specialized leased line, which has been provided by our ISP. But with this connection, we only have one ISP address. Whereas we are a university and we today have new servers. We have a data center, so we need more IP addresses. Now, how can we do with Afrinic to have enough IP addresses? Thank you. So is university already in our region, in the region that we serve? That's why it's good to be a member of Afrinic. Come and see us at the MS booth when you go out at the corner starting tomorrow to demonstrate. We will show you all the steps that you need to follow, and we will be assisting you to complete your. Maybe we can complete the evaluation before you leave Djibouti. Thank you. Questions? Okay.
Please continue. Okay, donc.
So we're now then going to finish by presenting you the fellows of Afrinic. It is important to note that at every public meeting, Afrinic offers 5 or 6 scholarships, 6 financial assistance to people who would like to participate in Afrinic readings. And this year we have received 5. Unfortunately, there is one that is still underway, and the other one will not be able to come for personal reasons. So we have 3 fellows to whom I asked to come. Okay. So, do you have any? Okay, Avi, can you take a picture with? So we have asked the fellows to come here and to say what they expect out of Afrinic.
And say what's your expectation? Okay, according to this event.
Good evening, everybody. I am Honlio Musa Stephen from University of Chang in Cameroon. It is located in the West region in Cameroon. And I am a member of AIS14 Cameroon chapter. So I heard about the fellowship on the mailing list of the AIS14 Cameroon chapter. Then I just applied. What I would like Afrinic to do, I really thank Afrinic for giving me the opportunity to assist, because it is a panel for new opportunities, and I am very grateful for that. I would also like Afrinic to assist our university in helping us continuing to implement our network, because we have too much difficulties, specifically political and managerial problems. So that is it. And thank you.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. I'm Ayman Hassan Sharaf from Sudan. I'm working originally with MTN for satellite communication or VSAT. Since last year, I started my learning IP by sitting for CCNA and CCMB. From my searching on the internet, I found the Afrinic and applied for this fellowship. And I would thank Afrinic for giving me this opportunity. Also, I want to thank Mr. Price for his following us all the time via email. So it is my pleasure, and I'm very proud to be here with all these people and no new experience in my field. Maybe when I return back to my country, I will tell my friend in MTN and people in ICT a lot about what I know here. Thank you.
My name is Bukola Faole from University of Ibadan, Nigeria. I heard about this fellowship via the mailing list, because I'm on the Afrinic mailing list, and my university is a member of Afrinic. My expectation during this meeting is I'm really interested in the policy making, especially those that affect academic networks. That's what I'm really interested in, and I know being in this meeting will help me to learn more and also to know how to make my voice heard in terms of policies that affect academic networks. Thank you.
Merci Brice, merci Madvi. Je vais finir en français. Je vous remercie.
Thank you Brice, thank you. Si vous avez d'autres questions, vous allez bien sûr le retrouver au MS Booth qui est à l'extérieur, ou juste outside. Il y a
Ayan, c'est animé par Douglas Oyango. C'est juste à côté du secrétariat de AIS, avant la sécurité. Merci beaucoup. A big applause to all of you. See you tomorrow morning.